I got to turn my video on as well. Yay!
Yay!
Okay.
Hello!
Hello.
I love
So
it.
while Waitbot is doing that, I'm going to edit a fortune cookie here. Oops.
Do you choose this music?
No.
Okay.
No. And you never
I
know what's
like
going to
it.
actually come up with Waitbot?
Okay. How cool.
Okay. So I have shared with everybody. I'm going to take him off.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to mute Waitbot a little bit. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we'll get started. We're a little bit early here for those of you who are tuning in tonight on the YouTube channel or you are watching on Fireside directly, the Fireside platform, because not everybody has the app. We will dive in here with my amazing guest, Cheryl Vienna, here shortly. And we're going to talk a little bit about the pronunciation of Vienna, as
Yes.
well as a bunch of things tonight. I cannot wait for you to meet her. We were trying to do this during October, and jury duty called, civic duty called. And so we were able to reschedule to do this before the year was out because I knew I wanted to talk to her before the year is out. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me as I changed some stuff. And I'm so glad that Cheryl was able to work it into her schedule to come back on. And so we are going to dive in here. It's about a minute till. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I cannot wait for you guys to meet my guest, Cheryl Vienna. You can see her bio in the show notes, but here's the thing to know about her. Not only is she a survivor, she is a thriver. She has taken this next chapter. You hear people talking about, the next chapter. You hear people talking about, the next part of their show, the second half. Look, let me tell you something. Here on Alignment Vision Action and on the podcast, The Rutledge Perspective, it's all about alignment, vision, and then empowered action. And Cheryl is the epitome of being clear on your vision, no matter when it occurs, to stay focused on that vision, stay aligned with who you are, and to move into action. So we are going to dive in and talk about that. Cheryl, thank you, thank you, thank you for being on the show.
And thank you for having me. I am so excited. I wanted to do it in October. It would have been perfect, but I'm glad we were able to make it work now. Um,
Yes.
Happy to be here. Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. And so I want to start here because we were going to do this in October because you are a breast cancer survivor. And what you're doing now, I want to tell people about that. But let's start with where you started, that whole corporate thing and then moving. So kind of tell people the beginning part of your journey to the place where you had this diagnosis, which really just kind of upended everything.
Well, okay, the beginning. Let's see. Hmm. Where's the beginning? Most of my career,
Right?
I worked in corporate America. I have 2 degrees from Purdue University that have nothing to do with entertainment that actually helped me launch my career in corporate America. Some of the key places I worked was Lockheed Martin Aeronautics in Fort Worth and Atlanta, Rolls Royce in Indianapolis, Pratt and Whitney in Singapore, and all in very key roles. We say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed in 2009 with breast cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and just as I
Mm-hmm.
was climbing the corporate ladder and like, okay, then when you have a diagnosis like that, you step back and look.
Yeah.
Say, if you only have 5 years left to live, say, are you doing exactly what you want to do? Are you filling in that dash? You know, that dash, born on, dash, died on.
Yes.
And I realized there was a whole lot of things that I wanted to put in that dash that I had not done. While I was happy
Yeah.
with the things that I'd done, there was so much more. And I've always loved entertainment and that type of thing.
Mhm.
So that was kind of a
Yeah.
pivotal moment right there. And that was a quick from then to now.
Right.
Obviously, there's a whole lot more in between.
Well, and I love what you say, and I've never heard anybody put it that way. Is that what did I want that dash to be? And I had never thought about it. That's such a great visual. Is on that epitaph, I've heard people say, "What do you want your epitaph to say? Do you want it to say, oh, she worked real hard?" But I've never heard it put like, "What do you want that dash to say?" And I'm like, that is really
Exactly. How did you want
powerful.
to feel it? I had already worked in several companies. So let's say company ABC. You can say you worked at
Hmm.
company ABC 1 year or 20 years, but
Yeah.
you only get that
Yeah.
one line. So what
Hmm.
else are you going to add on that line? Yeah. Did she help
Yes.
people? Was she loving? Did she make an impact? Did she inspire? Did she use the gifts that God gave her to show the world?
Yeah. Oh,
And
that is
so
so good. That's so good. And I think, an important piece of this story, just because I know you, right? And for those of you who have been watching for a while, you will remember Cheryl from the Women's History Month, which is when I launched the show on Fireside. It was live conversations, I think, at that point, before I renamed it Alignment Vision Action. But I've known her for a while. We got introduced through another friend, and what really struck me about your resilience and your real alignment and vision and your strength was this diagnosis happened right before you were about to move to Singapore, right?
This is true. Well, it actually happened right before I was getting ready to get married and
Hmm.
right before we got ready to move. So it was kind of like, whoa,
Hmm.
okay. All right, let's
Hmm.
go. Let's see what's going on here. And then you realize with the diagnosis, you're not in control. I'm a type A personality. I thought I was in control of everything. And you realize you're not in control of anything at
Nothing.
all. It reminds me of my mother used to say, worry about things that will matter in 100 years. And so pretty much
Yes.
it's none of
Yes.
that. But yes, so when we met, I had just come back actually from
Hmm.
Singapore and Malaysia. And I was
Yeah.
definitely in the space of what do I do now? And how do I feel
Yeah.
that dash? And how do I make an
Hmm.
impact? And obviously, corporate America, as for you, is always an option. But we both decided that we wanted to look in a different direction to continue
Yes.
to use our gifts and inspire in a different way.
Absolutely. And you, what people will see in your bio is you are also a musician. You play the saxophone. And so when we got ready to talk, you're like, I want to have this talk show and I want to do this thing. I'm Viola Davis and all of these things. And then there was a period of time and you're like, maybe I just need to go back. Maybe I just need to go back. Hey, Stefan, maybe I just need to go back and get a job. I will never forget that conversation. Maybe I just need to go back and get a job. I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yes, I remember
No,
you
let's not
telling
do
me, you're
that.
like, you want to do what? I'm thinking, I said, well, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out here right now. And I'm worried, should I go back?
Yes.
And you blatantly said, well, do you have an offer? Why are you worried?
Yes.
Yes, no, go do all these other things. And I'm so glad you told me that. And yeah, I was thinking about a
Yes.
talk show, and I'm glad to see
Yes.
your talk show going so well because
Yeah.
I put some energy around it. It didn't take off the way that I wanted to. But as you know me, I continue to reinvent. So if that one thing doesn't work, then you continue on to the next thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want you to tell people what you're doing now. And then we're going to dive into how you did that.
Well, what I'm doing now, it's funny that you say that because I just received an audition, a saxophone audition for a commercial. So
Oh,
I've got to
great.
do that afterwards. But what I'm doing now, I am a commercial actress. I have several commercials that are out that are national. I am a print
Yes.
model. The latest thing that's out that's in all the Sephora stores is I did a campaign with Lady Gaga for Haas Lab.
Yeah.
And I'm now happy to say that I'm a film and TV actress. I have a couple of small things that are out, and one film that will be coming out on this Saturday, a Christmas film. So I'm
Yes.
a commercial actress, film and TV actress, model, yay, and musician. that's the piece that I still need to become more proficient at, even though it's been
Mhm.
with me the longest.
Yeah,
Um, so when I get that in there, just be great.
I love it. Hey, Kathy. Yes, so y'all. One, as you can see, she is just incredibly beautiful, internal and out, and there's just so many places to go here. So let's start here. So you were in corporate America, like we were both doing that grind, but
Yes,
you always had this entertainment thing. So you've been a musician forever, right?
yes,
And you really wanted to do this entertainment thing, and you ended up moving to San Francisco, and you never gave up. So tell people a little bit about what it was, this drive, because I remember even before you left Houston, you were going on auditions, and you'd be in
yes.
Austin, you'd be doing some things, which, by the way, I saw your Floor and Decor commercial the other day. So so it's still out there, so make sure you get your royalty, honey. So
Okay.
because it did play. um, but what was it for you that was just kind of this burning thing that said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it.
Um, yes, before I even answer that, I've always had the burning drive, like you said. So going back a little bit, I worked at
Mhm,
Rolls Royce and I was a young executive then,
mhm,
and they offered a buyout. And I wasn't of age, but
mhm,
because of my position, I was able to take the buyout. And I said, yes, I'm
mhm,
going to do this and I'm going to go be this musician, actress, and everything. Well, I was in the wrong location.
mhm,
So I ended up going back to work, and that's when I went to Lockheed Martin
mhm,
and was there for 8 years or so. And that's when I also got sick, and they offered a buyout. And
mhm.
it was like, oh, okay, again, another opportunity to try this.
Yeah.
And people look at you like you're going to leave this job, this
Right.
stable. But there was something nagging in me that always said,
Mhm.
I have to do this. I
Yeah.
have this talent, and I don't want to be at the door at the end and him saying, well, I gave you the ability to play, I gave you the ability to act, to this, to that, and you did nothing with it.
Mhm,
So, anyway, I ended up going to Malaysia, working there again. And then on the way back, I left that job and I came back and I said, it's time. It is just
it's
time.
time.
None of these gifts have gone away. None of the desires have gone away. So, how do I make
Mhm.
it work? So, in
Yeah.
Houston, as you remember, I was going up and down the road from Houston to Austin because that's where all the
Yes.
auditions are. So, it's
Mhm.
3 hours there for a 10-minute audition and 3 hours back. And then another
Right.
3 hours there if you book the job.
Yes.
Woo! So that laid the ground. I was determined that I
Mhm,
was still going to do this, even though to some it probably looked bleak, like, you're doing what? You
mhm.
have all these degrees, you have all this talent, and you're doing what? Only
Right.
you know your journey, and don't let anyone talk you out of that. So,
Oh.
anyway, then we ended up moving to California in
Mhm,
2020. And at that point, my mother was also sick, so I had to go back to
mhm,
Indianapolis and help her. And it took us a while to get settled here in
mhm.
California. It was in Northern California. And
Yeah.
then I realized, no, this move, this is for me. This is for me.
Yeah.
God has set this up. I said, I need to make my way to LA.
Mhm.
So I found a little place here, and I said, I'm going to be boots on the ground and I'm just going to go for it you know,
I
and that's
love
what
it.
I did. I found an agent, and from that agent, she turned me on to another one in Northern California, which I was doing a job with a person
Mhm.
who was getting all kind of jobs. And I said, okay, wait a minute, tell me how to do this. Tell
Right.
me what you did. And he actually has this wonderful manager, and now she's my wonderful manager, and the rest
Ah,
is history. And that's how it
ah,
happened.
I'm so excited. Number one, I cannot wait to see this movie, this Christmas movie that comes out on the 3rd. So again, y'all heard that December the 3rd, the
Yeah.
Christmas movie is coming out where Cheryl's in it. So, what I love about what you said is a few things. One, you recognize, right, that self-awareness that you never lost the desire to do these things. You never lost the drive. You never lost this burning kind of thing to do this. And then the second thing is you paid attention, right? The buyouts happened, you took them. Because you're right. When you're in corporate, when you're in any job and you've reached a certain level, people and you want to leave, people are like, are you crazy? Do you know what your title is? Do you know what your money is? Do you know? They don't see it, right?
They don't
Because it's
see it.
safe to stay.
Yeah.
And so you were able to step out on both of on every time that happened, you stepped out.
I stepped out.
And
I
even
stepped out on faith. I did not have to take it. It
yes.
wasn't one of those, we want you to leave. Matter of fact, each time it was
Hmm.
like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Are you?
Right?
And I was like, yes, I'm sure. All
Yes.
my positions were very good, but they were high stress positions,
Yeah.
that tend to take a toll on you over time.
Yes.
People on the outside don't see that. All they see is the fringe benefits and the
Yes.
title and everything, which is all very great. I don't knock it at all.
Yeah.
But for me, especially after having a diagnosis, I could not have that stress anymore, and
Absolutely.
just one of these other things to try to do. I mean,
Well, and what I love about that is, as you told us, this was the third time that you moved, right? It was first at Rolls Royce, and then you went back, and then it was, Pratt and Whitney, and then you got ready to think about kind of going back, but then you got a chance to move, and it's like that third time, the divine plan was like, I'm putting you on the West Coast.
exactly.
I've given you two buyouts. That didn't quite work, but now I'm going to put you in the place you need to be.
Right where you need to be. And you either sink or swim. This is math.
Yes.
You either sink or,
Yes.
and you have to be prepared. So all
Yes.
this time I continued to, as far as beauty campaigns, putting lots of moisturizer on my face,
Right?
and working out, staying in shape, playing my horn, because as you know, success happens when preparedness and opportunity meet. So
Yes.
all along, I was continuing to try to be prepared for this
Hmm.
moment. And yeah,
Hmm.
God plopped me right here. Now, what you gonna do?
See, and that's, I think there's so many times we've all seen those memes, right? Where it's like you keep digging, it's so hard, and right before you get to the thing, you give up, right? We've all seen those, and so when you think about being aligned and having this vision, I think everything you've showed us is really talked about. No, no, no. I knew I had these gifts. I had this vision of what I wanted to be. How did you stay focused on action? Like you said, I stayed in shape. I kept playing my horn. I stayed prepared. How did you stay in action when this is a second coming, right? For you, you had a whole corporate thing,
This is
and this
true.
is a big shift. How did you stay ready?
This is a big shift. And that's a good question. I don't know. There was just something burning inside of me that said, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bigger answer than that. You look in your
Yeah.
mirror and you see yourself every day and you tell yourself who you are and what you see. And I
Mm-hmm.
kept seeing back those things in the mirror and they wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
It's not like some people at age, I don't know, 50, 60, whatever, go, oh, well, I think I'll try this. Never thought about it before. No, all these
Yeah.
things have always been with me. And now I'm
Yes.
having the opportunity to realize them, to
Yeah.
put that vision into action. If I go
Yes.
back every year for years, I'd always say in the beginning of the year, these are the things that I want to do, the goals I want to accomplish. Then at the end of the quarter, let me see where I am. At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
6 months, where am I? And then at December, let's go back and see what we've accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that for 20 some odd years, and it always
Wow.
has entertainment on it. Always. There was a
Yes.
corporate version of, okay, I need to climb the ladder, I need to get this position, da, da, da. But
Mm-hmm.
over here, I need to find this agency. I need to, and you can't have one foot here and one foot there.
Yes.
When I
Yes.
found out when I was working in corporate America and trying to do auditions too, you can't serve
Hmm.
two masters because, as you know,
Right.
if you're going to lead an organization, you have to lead that organization. You don't know
Yes.
when you're going to have a meeting pop up, and you can't say yes to an audition over here because you might not be able to make that audition. And your
Yes.
agents are like, okay, so do you want to be an entertainer, actor, or do you want to work over here? You can't do both.
Right. Right.
Not at a high level anyway.
Exactly. And I think that's where I was just talking to a client of mine, and we were talking about that, kind of doing it afraid and just stepping out there and making that plan for, what you're going to do. And really, sometimes leaving is what opens you up, right?
Yeah.
The leaving is
Yeah.
what freeze the pathway for the
Yeah.
thing that you say you want. When you stay there, because it's comfortable
It's
to stay
comfortable.
for sure. And there is no judgment passed, right?
No.
Because the reality is there are people who actually really love what they do, and they should stay, and they should continue to climb, and they should continue to make the impact that they're making. I know one of the people in the audience is someone I've known for a million years, Kathy, and the
Hi,
impact that
Kat.
she makes. Hey, Kathy, the impact that she makes in the organization that she's in, the university that she's in, for students of color that come through there cannot even be measured. Cannot
Exactly.
be measured. That
Exactly.
impact is, I having experienced it myself, that impact is so powerful. And so for those of you listening, understand that you owe it to yourself to figure out where you are. And as my friend Kevin says, every 2 to 3 years he reevaluates. Where am I? Is it is it serving me, or is it time to do something else? And then once I make up my mind, then I'm in it, for the next 2 years. I don't have to think about it again. But for
I
right
totally agree.
now, right, you need to reevaluate. And so for you, having known that that was in there for so long, and then taking that action, when you look back at it now, what would you tell people who are maybe doing well and liking what they're doing, maybe think they're kind of making an impact, but they're waiting for something else? What would you tell them?
I would say don't wait. And what
Mm,
I have said all along now for the last few years, if you only had 5 years left to live, are you
mm,
doing what you want to do?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying your
Yeah.
job? If you are, good. Stay. Do that. But if you're not, don't say I'm going to leave when. Because remember you only have
Mm,
5 years. What are
right.
you doing? Are you making that contribution? Are you feeding your soul? Are you making an impact at work? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have that person who's on the fence, obviously don't just leave willy nilly. Make sure you have a plan.
Right.
I'm not telling
Right.
anybody to quit a job. Make
Right.
sure you have a plan. You can cover everything.
Yeah.
But after that, the time is now. Because 1 year turns to
Yeah.
3, turns to 5, turns to 10.
Yes.
And you're still
Yes.
talking about, well, maybe I should do it. Put together
Exactly.
your plan and do it.
I love
I
that.
think for me, the time turns out to be right now.
Yeah.
We can't say when the time should have been, 20 years ago, I might not
Hmm.
have been as effective as I am now.
Right.
It's timing because I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have the background that I have
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can't get frustrated about, well, I tried this and it didn't work. I tried it. Okay, try one more time. You tried
Exactly.
60 times and the 61st time it worked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's where we get caught up sometimes. And hello, Milana. Thank you so much for being on the show. I for those of you who just joined, one of the things Cheryl said in the very beginning, when she left corporate and now she's doing this amazing thing and has a movie coming out, a Christmas movie coming out on the 3rd, is what do you want that dash to be? If you think about your headstone, from this year, your sunrise to sunset, what happens in that dash? And I had never heard it put that way. And when you think about what you're trying to do, what are you putting in the dash? And I think about when I left corporate and started this business, and I was just talking again to my client today. I have always seen myself speaking on big stages. Always, always. When I think about that, I've always from the time I was young, I've always seen that, and I just thought it was, I don't know if that's real. I don't just, but I
Hmm.
tell you, then the podcast happened, then the radio show happened, then Fireside happened. There are things that keep happening that say you should probably be on bigger stages. You should probably be
Right.
doing these things. It wasn't just some willy-nilly dream. There is something inside that is saying you need to get in front of people because you have a message to give and an impact to make. And what I love about you, Cheryl, is you heeded that. You gave yourself time. And then when it was time, you were prepared.
That's right. That's
Because what's
right.
the worst that could happen? It doesn't work? Okay.
That's right.
Well,
It doesn't work. What's the worst? Yeah, it doesn't work. But it definitely will not work if you don't try. No one is
see,
coming knocking on your door at your house saying, "We want you," no matter how talented you are. You have
yes.
maybe now since we do have social media, they might
Right?
give you that way. But if you're not online and you're just sitting in your house, they're not coming
Yeah.
on knocking on your door. You have to get out
No.
there. You have to get involved and put it into action. And I'm so proud of you. Yes, you are
Oh,
huge
thank you.
stages making a big impact.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it is. It's funny. I look at everything that you're doing, and there are times. I mean, all of you guys who have been in my life, Kathy too, um, is that idea of, you know what? Why not? What is my worst case scenario? What is
Right.
the worst case scenario? And when I think about the radio show, I was offered that radio show in an October, and I was like, I don't know. Actually, in August of 2019, I was like, I, I don't
I
know.
remember.
And then I remember talking to somebody. They're like, "Are you crazy?" And I remember telling you too. You're like, "What?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know." And then I went back and said, "Okay, well, let me just try." And all that was fear. I didn't want to be on camera
Right.
all the time. I didn't. What was I going to say for an hour every week? Nobody's going to want to listen to me. But it's that. It's what you said, Cheryl. It is. What is that thing that's burning? What is that impact you're trying to make, and are you prepared to do that? And I wouldn't be prepared to do that had I not had that corporate career, had I
Right.
not gone through the pain and suffering and drama and trauma of being in some of those organizations. I wouldn't have the message that I have now.
That's right. Well, and the training that you
The
get from
training.
corporate America.
Yes.
Lots of training, lots of presentations, lots of being in the
Yes.
room, knowing how to engage with people, how to speak, how to read the room, how to make you get
Yes.
all that from there. So I take it
Hmm.
as a blessing for both of us that we had
Yes.
that experience. And now we're able to take that and launch it out to the world.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Well, when I think about what you're doing, tell me what is making you the happiest right now? Like, what are you most excited about that you can tell us? You might have something
Yeah,
secret coming up that you might not be
I'm
able to
just
spill, but
I'm just excited to be here. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and go, wow, I'm a working actress in LA now at my young ripe age. It's just so it's so cool.
yeah.
To be on set. I love that. Let's see. One of the funnest shoots I did was actually the Lady Gaga shoot.
Hmm.
She was there. She was very nice and warm and
Oh, that's
inspiring and
awesome.
everything. That was nice. Um, the movie that's coming out on
Hmm.
Saturday, it's a Hallmark movie, The Holiday
Yeah.
Stocking. I have a small role there, but
Hmm.
it was really, really, really fun being on set and working with amazing Tamala Jones and Nadine
Oh, I love
Ellis.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Wait, did you just say Tracy Ellis?
No, no, Nadine Ellis.
Nadine Ellis. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, Tracy Ellis Ross. I think I just, oh,
No, no,
right.
no,
Like,
no, no. And
I
then
think,
I have another movie that I'm going to be shooting in Oakland in a couple of weeks.
okay.
So what's exciting to me is I just told you I have two movies that I'm doing.
Yes.
Um, and commercials out and print work everywhere in various stores. And it's just
Yes.
exciting that I have to go back to God. God is letting
Yeah.
his light shine through me. And each time somebody sends me something that they see, I know it inspires them too. and they
Yes.
go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I can do that too." Oh, so
Absolutely.
that little piece feels really good.
It's just, and I got to say, I'm just proud so I can say, oh, I know her. Did y'all see my friend that was on that commercial? Did you see my friend that was in that movie? It is so cool to live vicariously through your amazing success. And it's not even about the success itself for me, right? It's not about the success itself. What it is for me is that this person who had this life but had this dream decided that those two things were not mutually exclusive.
Right.
That what everyone else said she was supposed to do, right? Because we get those supposed to so heavy.
That's
What she
right.
was supposed to do was not what she was being called to do.
Exactly.
And to see that and to see the success and to also see the grind. I mean, as you said, being on the road those 3 hours to Austin just to do an audition that maybe was 10 minutes. And then you had to wait. I remember there was one, it was months before you heard anything.
Yeah.
And it's just the nature of the business. And to see you thriving is just so, I mean, it just makes me want to cry because it is just so exciting to see that and
Thank
so
you.
inspirational, Cheryl. So
Thank
inspirational.
you. Thank you. I feel blessed. I really do. Like I said, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah,
Um, I said, I've got to be boots on the ground. I've got to do it. I've got to
yeah,
try. And
yes.
the more I meet people, it's about connections. And
Hmm.
for some reason, they seem to connect with me. And it
Yes,
just continues to go and grow. And mm.
yeah. Well, of course they connect with you because you're awesome.
Oh, thank
Hello.
you, sweetheart.
I mean, come on. So as we kind of wrap it up, so I want to open it up. So if Kathy or Milana, if you have any questions, feel free to invite yourself. And Milana, I think you might be new to Fireside. I was just looking at the picture. If you haven't been on a show before, that little button, that little round section at the bottom right of your screen, if you click on that, you can click on invite to speak, or invite to video, all that kind of stuff. So feel free if you have a question or something to do that. And Kathy, Cheryl, if you got a question, please feel free to jump on as well. But so as we get kind of to this 30 minutes, because we try to keep it around 30-45 minutes for people, um, I really want to know, when you think about living in the moment, for sure. You want to make sure you're living in the moment because life is short. I also want to talk about, what big vision do you still have for you?
What big vision? Well, there's a couple of them. So,
Hmm.
yes, in no particular order, I've
Yeah.
been on a beauty campaign, but I want to be the spokesperson for that beauty campaign. I want to be the face
Ah,
of that
yeah.
beauty campaign.
I
Um,
love that.
I want to be the face of a commercial, like it is the State Farm guy.
Oh,
Like it
yeah.
is. Yes,
Yes.
yes. I could see myself doing that.
Hmm.
And I am looking forward to a feature film where I am in most of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the last thing is I've got to get the music piece in there because that's
Ah,
really
yeah.
what drives me. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to maybe releasing at least one little song that has me
Yeah.
playing and singing on it. So those are the big pieces that I'm looking forward to. But having said that, if I don't accomplish any of it, I feel
Hmm.
good with what I have accomplished now.
Yes.
Everything else is just gravy.
Yeah. Oh, I just love that because it is so easy to give up. Again, as I said earlier, we see all those memes where people are digging, 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 digging. And I think the one picture that I see all the time is the two people who are like digging in the ground, right, trying to get to diamonds. And there's the one person who like gives up, and the very next scoop would have gotten them right there, right? And so we
Mhm.
give up too soon.
That's
And
right.
I think there's a reminder for all of us that none of us really knows how long it's going to take. And we can't get caught up in this social media world that where people keep telling you, "Oh, I did this and I grew my business from zero to, multi-million dollar business in 6 months." That's just a lie. That's just a
Exactly.
lie.
It is.
There may be one person out of 100,000 people who may have had that happen because they had every single thing lined up.
Hmm.
But most people, that doesn't happen for. And how do you keep digging?
Yeah.
How do you keep digging?
Hard work, persistence, confidence in yourself, surrounding yourself with people who are positive and who
Yeah,
believe in you and believe in what you're doing. Um, when you come home and you have that day that I don't want to do
yeah,
this anymore, someone that
right.
says, like you, what?
Hmm.
Yeah, keep pushing. You've had one bad day, one bad week.
Yes,
Keep pushing. There's going to be something in every line of work that you don't like.
yeah,
Um,
right.
so you might as well push in the one that you want to be in, and
Yeah,
work hard at it.
yes, yes. And as you say, prepare, right? Be
Prepare.
prepared. It is that success and that luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? That being
Exactly.
prepared for what you say you want, for
Right.
what you say you want, right? Because if you really want it,
And
then you're going to do the
focus.
work. Yes.
Focus. You have to be focused.
Hmm.
You can't spread yourself too thin. You have to
Right.
focus, hone in, drill down, as we say, boots on the ground,
Yes.
all of that. And then
Yes.
there's
I
some
love
things
it.
you still aren't in control of. I am not in control of who is going to actually send me an audition.
Right.
All I can
Right.
do is when I receive that audition, do my very best. Now, I
Right.
can turn around at some point and be in the director's side or the producer's side. That puts you in the control position. But the things I'm
Hmm.
doing right
Hmm.
now, I'm not in the direct control position,
Right.
other
Right.
than making sure that I am prepared and ready.
That's all you can do, right? That's all you can do is be ready to be available, right?
Yes, to be
In
available.
other words, I used to tell people all the time, young people especially when they're applying for jobs and things, I say, what you want that job to say, that position that you want, you don't want them to have the question, why should we hire this person? You
Right.
want them to have the question, are we crazy? Well, of course we got to hire this person. Why would we not hire
Why
this
would we
person?
not? That's right. Why would we not? We
Why
want
would we not?
her. Don't let her
Exactly.
get away. Don't let
Don't let somebody else take them. You want to be the person that they want, right? You want to be the person that they want. Well, Cheryl, I am so proud. I know, it goes without saying just how amazing I think you are. Because I know you and I guess I'm biased, but I
back
think you're
at
absolutely
you.
incredible. Well, thank you. And I'm just so absolutely thrilled. Number one, to have been connected to you, that divine intervention through somebody I met when I was living in Indiana that I'm still connected with and said, "Hey, meet this friend of mine. She's in Houston." Right? That whole network, the village that comes
Yes,
together.
the village.
Um, I just so appreciate the journey that you've been on. I am so happy that we are blessed with your continued presence, having survived this cancer diagnosis. Not only survived, but you are thriving through that. You have turned that, trauma into your testimony and making it, right? And
Yes.
I am just appreciative of your having me in your circle, in your world, letting me bask in the glow that
Oh
is
no,
Cheryl
I have to
Vienna.
say the same for you, okay? Thank you. I'm so honored that you even wanted to talk to me. Like, really?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Well, we are going to do it again. We are going to do it again. And as I said, I've got your bio and stuff in the show notes. When I release the replay, everybody will see that. But in the meantime, for those who are listening, and if you're looking for someone to be in your independent film, you're looking for someone to be in your ad campaign, you're looking for someone to be your spokesperson, make sure you are contacting Cheryl. So how can they get in touch with you or your agent to get to you?
Let's see, you can get in touch with me via Instagram, Cheryl Vienna with an extra A.
Yep.
On Facebook, Cheryl Vienna, or my manager, and that is at Outlaw Management, an email there. But the first two definitely will get me.
Yeah, I love that. So make sure you're following her on Facebook and following her on Instagram, because then you can see all things Cheryl Vienna. And especially watch on the 3rd. And tell us again the name of your movie that's coming out on Saturday.
Well, it's not my movie. Let's get that right.
We're going to claim it. I'm
Oh,
claiming it
all right. Well, the name
because
of
I
it's
don't know
called.
anybody else in it. I know you. So it's your movie.
All right. The name of it's called The Holiday Stocking, and it's the first Christmas movie that Hallmark has done with mahogany. If you remember the mahogany cards, so now
Yes.
they have a scripted side. So this is their first Christmas movie.
I love this. And y'all, and here's the thing, I'm just going to do this plug for Hallmark, and they did not pay me to do this. I This was 3 or 4 years ago. So my mom and I are big Hallmark Christmas movie watchers. That's what we would do together. And it was the only time you'd see a person of color was like the sidekick, all of that. I actually wrote into Hallmark and I wrote a note to them and I said, you know what? My mom and I are big Hallmark movie watchers. We love it. It's a thing we do together. It is now a period of time where it makes no sense that the only people of color in your movies are sidekicks or best friends or any of that. It makes no sense. I don't why, we've got to do better, Hallmark. I'm not gonna stop watching. I enjoy your things. They're nice ways to just kind of relax. But I really wish you guys would do better. And they actually had someone write me back. And it if it was a bot, it was an extremely good bot. And at that time, they were just about to put out the ones that Al Roker wrote, and I think Holly Robinson Pete starred in them or something like that.
Mhm.
And we did start to see more people of color on Hallmark movies. So I got to tell you, now that they're doing it with Mahogany, but because they actually took that seriously, again,
Yes,
even
they
if it
took
was
it
a bot,
serious.
they took it seriously and they are moving in action. I will be a supporter of Hallmark for a while until I see something different or learn something different that says I need to do something else. I will continue to support them. So I'm so happy to see that they are now moving the mahogany piece away from just cards and into their media piece.
Yes,
And to have the first one have actually someone I know in it is even better.
yes,
So catch the
yes,
movie, everybody. December the 3rd, that's this coming Saturday, the holiday stocking, right? On
yes.
Hallmark Channel. And not Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, just the straight
Hallmark
Hallmark,
movies and
right?
mysteries. Hallmark
Okay,
movies
on
and
Hallmark
mysteries.
Movies and Mysteries. So, because they got the three channels. So, Hallmark
Right.
Movies and Mysteries. Catch the movie on Saturday, December the 3rd. Look for my friend Cheryl Vienna in the movie, because I'm sure she is just going to steal the show in the scenes that she's in. So, make sure you go and watch her and follow her Facebook and Instagram, and all of that stuff is in her bio. In the meantime, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of this year. We are coming into this last 31 days of the year. We still have lots of time. As long as you wake up on this side of the daisies, you have time to move into your vision. You have time to seize that next opportunity. And as Cheryl always says, the world is your oyster. So be sure you are jumping on that and grabbing the pearl that is yours. Thank you so much for being a part of Alignment Vision Action, for being on the show, for tuning in. Catch the replay, pass it on, follow Cheryl, and we will catch you next time. Cheryl, love you so much. Thank you so
Love
much for
you
being
too.
here, and
Thank
we
you
will
for
catch
having
you.
me.
You're welcome. We'll catch